Academics from an anti-Brexit university have portrayed people who voted to leave the EU as narcissists who dislike foreigners. The Goldsmiths College researchers suggested the 17 million people who voted leave were motivated by xenophobia and were similar to Donald Trump supporters. The findings were based on just 161 leave voters and 345 remain voters paid to participate in an online survey. What did the study find? Researchers from Goldsmiths University, London, measured the effect of xenophobia, the belief that immigrants to the UK threaten the country, on voting behaviour. The researchers then tried to establish what kind of people believe that immigrants threaten the UK. Firstly, authoritarians, those who fear other groups will threaten the traditional status quo in their country. And finally, collective narcissists, who believe the UK is so great it is entitled to privileged treatment, but complain this true importance and value is not recognized by other countries. Critics said Goldsmith's anti-Brexit stance is an institution, and the research it produced was denigrating good people. Goldsmiths College lecturers made the claims in a research paper investigating the roots of prejudice. Goldsmith's most recent annual report declares that Britain's EU departure is a significant risk to the university's funds, which could cost it millions of pounds and lead to reduced student numbers. The college said in the 2015-16 report, the UK's decision to leave the European Union and the related tightening of UK immigration policy, with no sign of any leniency for international students, together present a significant risk to Goldsmiths. The university in South London's edgy New Cross area gets 10% of its funding, £10 million, $13 million, from some 1,200 EU students, and £2.3 million, $3.5 million, in EU research group income. Around 300 of the university's 1,100 academic staff are also EU citizens from outside of Britain. Chris McGovern, of the Campaign for Real Education, said he was not surprised that Goldsmiths College had produced research critical of Brexit, as universities were all about making money by having the highest number of students. He said, universities in the UK are a racket. They have a vested interest of universities to preserve the status quo and to maximize student numbers. They are denigrating good people. There is an institutional bias against Brexit. It is incredible to them. They are very happy to impose restraints on freedom of speech. Universities are no-go areas for freedom of speech if your views don't coincide with Remain. There's a form of fascism on campus. People aren't able to speak freely. 90% of university lecturers are pro-Remain, and they are trying to obliterate this country's national identity, he said. Mr. McGovern claimed schools are brainwashing people into thinking the only future we can have is in the European Union with unelected bureaucrats in Brussels. In the study, funded by the Portuguese government-led researcher Dr. Agnieszka Galek-Zavala, from Goldsmiths and colleagues investigated the role of xenophobia in the referendum. They found predictors of prejudice were linked to a tendency to back Brexit and be happy with the referendum's outcome, regardless of age, gender or education. A further assessment of personality types showed people who felt threatened by immigrants fell into three distinct groups. Some were authoritarian or socially dominant, while others were described as collective narcissists, people who believe that the UK's unique greatnesses. Dr. Galek-Zavala said, collective narcissism is not a good attitude to have. We should study how this becomes a group norm and find ways of preventing it from happening and spreading. From Brexit, Trump and support for Vladimir Putin in Russia to the nationalist, ultra-conservative government in Poland, studies from ours and other labs show that collective narcissism systematically predicts prejudice, aggression and a tendency to interpret innocent behaviors as provocation to the national group.